Hi dear one, I'm super excited for week number 1. So this week I will introduce or reintroduce you to the term non-duality, or as I like to call it more so, singularity. You might have heard of this but not have had a direct experience to this before. So we will go on a journey this week and experience firsthand beyond the mind. So you get a sense of what is and what it is, and not just read about it or not just hear about it. So as this understanding or understanding will set up the foundation for the next sections to better understand yourself. This first-hand experience of singularity, as I call it, or other things, non-duality refers to the same thing. I just like to call it singularity because it feels like saying non-duality in itself creates a dualistic perspective. So if I refer to non-duality or singularity, I mean that as the same thing. So that everything is one is so important to experience, because as humans, and the way we have been taught gets stuck in our mind, and then we end up identifying with things that we are not. And we see things in a way that is extremely dualistic, a way that then becomes the breeding ground for suffering and struggle. Because suffering and struggle is simply a perception. So the Jnana Yoga included in the content of this week was added to the course as the intellectual transcending aspect. So instead of completely rejecting the intellect of the mind, we use the intellect to look for consciousness. So as discussed in as I will discuss in all of these videos, especially the different forms of yoga, I feel this is extremely important, and it is included because it's an important cornerstone to facilitate paradigm shifts for you. So I will explain what is meant by non-duality, because there are a lot of misconceptions about it, and even the word non-duality itself, like I just mentioned, creates a duality. So take into account once again that I might refer to non-duality because it's known, or I might refer to singularity. But the absence of duality is truly like a singularity, right? Unity. Indivisible. So we will then create a link from this previous subject, intellectual understanding of singularity, to a really honest reflection and inquiry of yourself. This might offer insight to how you can shift the paradigm into an inner standing, beyond understanding, a heart's understanding. You stand in the truth, not under the truth, is my perception when you're hearing inner standing. So you're understanding yourself deeper, and this will directly influence your perspective about everything else. Example, if you have the perspective from the eyes of a leaf on a tree versus the eyes of the entire forest as a unity, is vastly different. So, and the truth is that you have the ability and access to scale to both of those perspectives. The perspective of being an individual leaf, seemingly separate from the entire forest, is merely a set of thoughts created into a bundle of beliefs and conditions. Now, there is the chance that the first few videos of this week feels a little bit profound, and you might experience a certain difficulty to understand, and that's okay. I completely support that, actually. It's such a good sign, because that's the very reason of this course. Though the combination of the knowledge that frees you from these limiting conditions and the practices that is provided in this course to have a direct experience of who and what you are, that is moving beyond your mind. So these practices have been hidden for centuries and is known as Kriya Yoga. So I will share with you my story in this week with Kriya Yoga too. And then after that, we come to the meditation practices of this week. So let me share with you, when we meditate daily, the ego and the mind may come up with feelings of thoughts of boredom and multiple reasons why you should not do this practice daily. Why you should not do the same meditation for an entire week, because it longs for change, as it is the only way it can notice consistency. And that's it. It is also prone to self-sabotage in the attempt to preserve itself, or rather the existing program running, which it is comfortable with. And in the expansion, it has to go into and through the unknown, into places that it is extremely scared and afraid to do. So once this discomfort is overridden, there is a sense of sacred safety and curious exploration. So gradually it surrenders deeper and deeper every time. So again, do the meditations daily. Notice the thoughts coming up. Noticing them is enough. So I really hope that you enjoy this week. Come back to this video if you need to just restructure and find out what this week is all about. And week 1 is also all about the awareness of things, right? So please enjoy.